Joining me now to talk about more of these issues is Turning Point contributor Morgan McMichael. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you, Anthony?
Oh, I'm just living the dream. Okay, so let's break this down from the beginning. You've been a big advocate for protecting female spaces against this woke ideology that trans women can be women. And now you're starting to see countries that we've listed in the UK, Sweden, France, Norway, and the United States all finally starting to say, hey, the science doesn't say so. You've been saying it as long as I've known you trust the science. What do you have to say to the public about that now?
It's absolutely nonsense how this is legal in America for children to go through mutilation surgeries by these medical professionals. These medical professionals are totally abusing children and using kids as lab rats in the modern era, and I'm not really sure how we are even letting this happen. And now in schools, it's even gotten so delusional that some public schools are putting litter boxes in classrooms for children who identify as cats. I don't know where we went wrong in society, but Gen Z really has some waking up to do, and that's why we need to continue pressing and talking about the transgender issue, because there are so many parents that are being pushed through this woke ideologies and allowing their children to play into their delusions and further continuing to indoctrinate them in being transitioned. It's absolutely heartbreaking. It's absolutely sick. And now we're even seeing some states start to pass legislation where you can be fined up to $10,000 and it could be a felony if you're misgendering a person. I never thought this would ever happen in 2023 in the United States of America, but we've definitely got to put a stop to it.
Well, I know that you have been on the front lines doing a lot. You were one of the people that exposed Target for the tucking bathing suits in your viral video that you posted on your Twitter a couple of weeks ago, and we started to see all of that. I want to play a clip for you real quick. This is CNN actually apologizing for misgendering Dylan Mulvaney. Can we play that real fast?
Before we wrap up today, we do want to make an important note. Yesterday, in a segment about transgender influencer Dylan Mulvaney, who was featured in Bud Light's recent campaign, she was mistakenly referred to by the wrong pronoun. And CNN aims to honor individuals' ways of identifying themselves, and we apologize for that error.
Your comments on that?
This is just such a joke that the Woke News Network decides to release an apology for misgendering Dylan Mulvaney, which we all know that Dylan is a biological male who is grifting the entire conservative movement and will continue to post photos and videos. Recently, he escaped to Peru because he actually felt unsafe being in America after the Bud Light debacle and causing them to lose billions of dollars, which I find quite funny. But the fact that now we have news networks releasing apologies for misgendering these influencers is absolutely crazy. We cannot continue to bow down to these woke ideologies. We need to reject the social normality of using pronouns, of normalizing gender transitions for children, and it's got to stop.
Okay, so Morgan, my question to you is, because you spend a lot of time doing a lot of good work on social media, you spend a lot of time traveling around the country talking to young women now. What is your message to a lot of the young women that feel like their safe places, like locker rooms, bathrooms, are now up and just open and basically fair game to be assaulted, attacked? What do you suggest to them? Because recent studies just says right here, a female recruit in the military was forced to shower with a man who was, quote unquote, transitioning. So now even our military is putting our women in jeopardy. What's your message to them?
It's absolutely horrible. I mean, women are directly under attack now. It's way worse than it was in the 50s and the 60s. And the modern feminist movement has completely distorted what it even means to be a woman. And now real women's safe spaces are directly under attack. So if you're a woman out there, a biological woman, this is your chance to speak up and say something and not allow men to violate our spaces. Do not allow men to come into our bathrooms, come into our locker rooms, because it is just not right, especially in the military. The fact that this is happening just makes me so sick to my stomach, because women have fought for years for women's rights, and now it's just being stripped all away from us, from men pretending like they're women.
And last comment that I want to get from you, because I know that you spoke out about this a little bit ago, and really good remarks from you. So Maybelline is now facing backlash for using a bearded cross-dresser in their advertisements. I know that you have been somebody that has been so adamant on making sure that people are aware by posting and making sure that your message is clear. So what do you think the results of this is going to be? Are they going to back down like every other company and cut them like they did Dylan Mulvaney and everybody else, or is just going to be something else that just pushed out there?
I hope so, but I mean, we've seen multiple makeup brands, Sephora and Ulta, using transgender and male models as well for a bunch of different makeup lines that are featured in their stores. And we've honestly got to stop shopping these woke brands, stop supporting brands that hate our values and hate us conservatives, and start shopping other brands that actually uplift and support faith, freedom, and our values. Maybelline has made a huge mistake. Why are they using a bearded, bald man to promote their lipstick this year? I'm not really sure why they decided to make that creative decision, but I think that the backlash coming from the conservatives will hurt their companies in the long run.
Well, I couldn't have said it better myself. Where can people follow you?
You guys can find me anywhere on Turning Point USA channels or personally, Morgonn. Just Morgan, if you can spell it, you can find me.
Oh, thank you so much for joining us, Morgan. Appreciate you and all the work that you're doing over at Turning Point USA.
Thanks, Anthony, for having me on today.